running out of places in my house to shoot these scenes, guys. We're gonna give the living room a try today. Y hoy vamos a hablar sobre la desigualdad educacional, educational inequality, in our continued study of the unfinished business of the civil rights movement. So like other aspects of the modern day civil rights movement, there are some past achievements that we are continuing to build upon. The most well-known of which is 1954 Brown v. Board of Education, a Supreme Court decision which abolished racial segregation in public schools and started busing black kids to white schools and white kids to black schools in the name of racial equity. But as you're going to see today, when it comes to achieving true racial equity in our public school system, we still have a long way to go. Two main things you want to do in the assignment for today, guys. The first thing you want to do is identify some of the problems, some of the race-based inequities that still exist in our schools today. So maybe you want to tell me a little bit about things like the achievement gap. Maybe you want to tell me about the school-to-prison pipeline. Maybe you want to tell me about the racial segregation that still exists in our schools. Chicos, todavía hay segregación racial en nuestras escuelas en los Estados Unidos hoy en día. And the other thing that you want to do today is tell me a little bit about some of the proposed solutions. So maybe you want to read a little bit about affirmative action. Maybe you want to read a little bit about some of the efforts to rewrite curriculums to make them more inclusive. Los esfuerzos para incluir más grupos diversos en nuestros estudios en vez de solamente personas de grupos tradicionalmente dominantes. You do not have to become an expert on all this stuff. I included a lot of different articles today. You can pick and choose the ones that sound interesting to you. And when you feel like you've read enough to write me a short reflection that describes some of the problems and some of the proposed solutions in our schools, you are good to go for today. And don't forget, the other thing you might want to be thinking about as you do today's daily work is you've got that summative assessment essay for this week, tu ensayo para esta semana, en que vas a decirme un poco sobre el movimiento moderno para derechos civiles. You need to tell me about the unfinished business of the civil rights movement. Yesterday we looked at economic inequality. Today we're looking at educational inequality. Both of these things could definitely be examples that make up the heart of that essay. So kind of be thinking about that as you're writing. And remember, I have other resources available to you, so you can get a little bit ahead on that essay if you want to. Un día más esta semana. Tomorrow we are going to look at voter suppression. There will be a daily assignment, even though it's Friday, to go with that, because I think it's super important, especially in an election year. But yes, summative assessments due Friday as well. So be thinking about that as you do your work today. Hasta mañana.